This unit might be the final counter we need against legends like Kuma from the New Year's batch. I am so impressed by this unit's rumble abilities and regular abilities. I think she's definitely a highlight. Hibari actually has an amazing legend, so let's go through her in this video. Let's talk about how she's intended to be used, the new sub swap mechanic that she introduces in Power Rumble, and how it ties so perfectly in with her passive ability to constantly delay the enemy's charge time. So I think this is something, man. Let's first go through her regular stuff though. So Hibari here is a Dex fighter shooter character. She has an interesting ink effect here. She is a super tandem unit with super type ability, which can be used as a sub. A captain ability is going to reduce all of your characters' switch effect gauge by 4 swaps at the start of the quest. Gives you a 5.25x attack boost and 1.35x recovery boost to Dex, fighter, and shooter characters. And then if you apply a conditional attack boost, then it'll get increased by 0.25. So just a nice extra bit of damage. Then if any Kobe is on your team and uses their special, and they have to be the crewmate, so you can't run Hibari and friend captain Kobe, the Kobe will not activate it. They have to be a crewmate, which is one of your subs. It will apply a universal set target status to the enemies. Set target goes through all types of immunities, and also it can be for only specific types and classes, but this is one of the only set targets that goes through all immunities. Of course, if you are using it on an earlier stage, then the character that defeats that enemy will get extra cooldown as well. So very, very nice. Okay, and this can be used up to twice during the quest. So you can use this on stage 4, for instance, and then again on stage 5. This works really well with, I think, the Psy Kobe. Even he's not the newest Kobe, of course. You're supposed to use this with the new Kobe and Goth, but the old Psy Kobe, that reduces special bind and also bind. I'm pretty sure he can also be used multiple times per quest. So this character could go really well with that Kobe, of course, on a mono fighter team. But besides that, her captain ability will state that if you have all Navy and Sword characters will get a 1.2x attack in addition to the 5.25x, and then also 3 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. So there is a bit of a red lining there, if I can even call it that, is that there's a lot of great world government tag characters like the 5 Elders, all Lucci characters, Stussies, Kakus. All them are world government, but they're not Navy. So there are a lot of characters that you might think would work with this unit, but they just don't. So all Navy units, which includes all Admirals, there's a lot of great Garb characters as well. I can actually show you in a moment, but all these characters will get massive attack boost of about 6.5x and also a 3-turn cooldown in addition to the 4 switch effect gauge charges. So the only problem here is there's no HP, which is a bit odd because this character is based on healing mechanics and survivability, but no HP boost is a bit odd. But overall, I think it's really good. Great damage with getting up to 6.5x attack multipliers, with the addition of buffing your conditional boost, setting the enemy's target status as well multiple times in the quest with a fairly easy condition, going through all immunities, and it's universal. So much damage here. And then you also get amazing speed farming capabilities with switch effect charge and also regular cooldown charge. So I think Hibari has great potential as a captain. Now, as for her special, maxing out at only 13 turns, this is quite rare. Nowadays, we only see characters that have like 15 turns of cooldown after expansion. She's only 13 turns, so that's already a great sign. She's going to reduce all enemy damage reduction, percent damage reduction, and attack down by 7 turns. So not chain attack downs, just regular attack downs. And then inflicts the enemy with a 2.5x IDT increased damage taken for 1 turn, not through any immunities. But if you have 4 more Navy tag characters on the crew, so 3 characters excluding herself, if you're running double Hibari, it's 2 other characters who are Navy tag, it will allow the increased damage taken to go through all immunities. The way it's worded here, it says, allows the special's increased damage taken applying effect to ignore immunity to status effects. Not immunity to all status effects, not immunity excluding certain status effects, not specific immunities. It just says all immunities. So that's great. Very, very nice. And also, you will get a conditional attack boost of 2.25x to go alongside it. So a self-proccing conditional boost. And not only is it a self-proccing conditional boost, it's the best kind, inflicting the enemy with increased damage taken. So in total, when you get the increase from the captain effect, it's a 2.5x conditional, 2.5x increased damage taken. So your total multipliers are like 5x or 5.25x for all those damage boosting effects. Really, really good. Then if you have 5 or more turns of your end of turn healing buff, and it's also less than 10 turns, then you will get a 0.3 increase in existing orb boost and color affinity boosts. So that's great, extra damage. If your end of turn healing is 10 turns or more, then she will buff existing attack boosts by 1.5x. So this is quite interesting. The way it's worded, you won't get the increase for color affinity and orb boost if your end of turn healing is 10 turns or more, because it says here 10 turns or less when your specials launched for the first buff. But at the end of the day, you are getting 2.5x conditional boost, 2.5x increased damage taken, 7 turn utility for 2 very common enemy buff and crew debuff at a low cooldown. Yes, there is a tag requirement, otherwise she's not that good. But at the end of the day, it's not too hard to reach that requirement. There's a lot of good Navy characters in the game, and she is included in that tag requirement, of course. And then you're also getting a 1.5x increase in your attack boost. So if you have like a 4x attack boost, which is very common today, it'll go up to a 6x. And it can go up to a maximum of 8x. So very, very good. And then she'll also heal by 30k. So that's nice. Not overheal, but that is fine. And she'll reduce the turn duration of your end of turn healing if you have 10 or more turns of it. So pretty nice. I like this. Very good special and captain effect. So I think she'll definitely see play in PvE. But what about her super type, which is going to require two of these characters? It's basically all Navy and sword characters. So 2 Navy or sword characters, you will get access to the super type, which removes swap captain debuff. So if you are using a captain shift unit and for some reason you can't proc the X super or super type to cancel the effect, you could use Hibari. But the most common usage is definitely to remove the bad captain swap that so many quests give today. Best example is the treasure map we just had. Yeah, that intrusion was a nightmare. Random crewmate gets swapped to your captain. Such little control over what your captain is, which can really mess with your damage and hinder team building. So one of the only characters to just straight up remove it, who doesn't have a captain shift themselves. So I really like this effect, and she doesn't have to be captain to use it. So I really like that. To also buff existing chain multiplicative buffs by 0.2, and then give you a 1.2 chain additive buff. Gives herself a tandem orb, not through block, and then a 5 turn end of turn healing of 5k. If you have an existing end of turn healing, it gets extended by 3 turns. I wish it was 5 turns, but it is what it is. That's pretty nice. At the end of the day, you can use her super type, and then her special will provide the buff for color affinities and orb boost. Very, very nice. Super tandem is also very, very easy to use. Only requires 1 Navy or sword character and gives you straight up a 1.4x attack boost for Dex, Shooter, and Fighter. So very easy to proc and also a decent multiplier to start off with. Then she also has Barrier Pin, True Barrier Pin, no HP requirement, very nice, and also Pinch Heal. So not too bad. Then she has a 800 HP end of turn heal for Crewmate ability and gives everyone, no matter the type of class, a tandem orb counted as matching, which isn't that good since most ships do that anyways nowadays, but yeah, still pretty nice to have. A support effect attaching to Kobe upon special activation, so you have a lot of control there. Gives you a 2-turn extension for existing end of turn healing buffs and a 2-turn attack down reduction. This is very nice because Kobe doesn't have any good attack down reducing supports. Kobe himself is a good attack down reducing support. His Psy Rare Recruit has 3-turn attack down and remove SFX reduction upon infliction, which is great on GOP and Halmepo characters. But Kobe himself needs a support like this. So very, very nice utility. And also the extension is pretty nice and can be useful in some niche circumstances. Now, what about her Rumble stuff? This is what we all came for. This is very, very interesting. So first off, she is a debuff style character with a defense of 146 and a speed of 149. Then her resistance, she completely evades confusion. Most annoying debuff, maybe besides forced out, she just ignores it. And also, of course, 30% reduced damage from quick enemies. So she's going to be great against quick teams. She will attack for a heal cell for level 2, then a power attack, and then another follow attack with power. Then her Rumble ability, now this is massive. At level 5, all Dex type, all fighter class characters, and Navy tag teammates, HP up of level 7. This is massive, especially because of the new update to Rumble abilities, where your sub characters can actually receive the HP buff at the start of the quest, which means that when they come in, they won't have lowered HP, because previously, HP up buff, it only applied to your main crew, and then when your sub characters came in and the passives finally started to apply to them and they get HP up buff, they don't heal that amount back. So they are at the HP amount they were at maximum when they were on the bench, and then the new maximum HP they have when they come in, they don't heal up to that. They just stay at the lower HP value. But now they changed that so that the Rumble passives apply to them even when they're not on the main team. So having this massive HP up buff is really nice, especially with the new behavior changes. All enemies HP down level 5, no requirement, no strings attached, all enemies low HP, very nice. And I'm pretty sure HP levels are plus 500 per level. I need to verify this quickly. Yeah, I just checked, it's 250 HP per level. So Hibari is increasing everyone's HP by, 7 times 250? It's about 1,750 HP for everyone, and decreasing enemy HP by about 1,250. Very, very nice. If 5 or more fighter class or 5 or more Navy tag characters are on the team, all enemies defense down of level 4. Let me also check the multipliers for that. So defense up and defense down is about 25 defense per level. So if you take Hibari as an example, 146 defense. If you take a look at how much she would debuff herself, just as a example, level 4 defense down would give her, it would reduce her defense from 146 to 46. So just as an example, that's how significant the defense down that she provides is for your team. So that is going to apply to all enemies if you meet that requirement. 5 fighters or 5 Navy tag characters. So even if you don't have those Navy tags, it's very easy to fulfill your bench with a lot of good powered armor characters that have fighter class. So very, very easy requirement. And then also gives them special CT speed down of level 2. I think each level is about 3% CT. So that is going to make about like a 3 or 4 second difference for a lot of characters. It's not the craziest, but it definitely is helping. If 3 or more sword characters are on the crew, when appearing on the field, all enemies special CT 30% delay. Okay, now this is one of the more recent abilities that they added to Power Rumble, and I was like debating the other day, how could they possibly counter Kuma and Nikobani? The easiest way is to just prevent people from using their specials by countering with the way that they get their specials. So Kuma, when he enters, he charges his special by 30%. I'm pretty sure it's also 30%. Now Hibari, she comes in and delays by 30%. So it essentially just cancels out that effect. This is probably the only way that they can actually counter that, unless they introduce a new debuff. But yeah, this is definitely the best way to counter someone like Kuma and maybe even Caesar. So this is definitely a character you want to aim for. Especially since everyone will now have Nikobani thanks to the Head Start Sugofest. So not only is this just great as a one-time use, but you will see how broken this can be thanks to the new mechanic in her special. So her Rumble special, only 28 CT, not too bad, not too high, and not too low either. Targets Navy tag teammates for attack up at level 6 for 20 seconds. 2 high attack enemies for 100% chance of half attack for 20 seconds. And targets 2 high defense enemies for guaranteed half defense for 20 seconds. So that, in addition to her defense debuffing from her passive, is so good. And then targets 2 high speed enemies for 100% chance of half speed. So very similar to the half stats that Shinobu and Otama provides. I'm pretty sure it was them. Yeah, it was them. But yeah, this is great half stats. Conditional. I think this is way better than just giving everyone half stats for like 5 seconds, because this is kind of aiming the enemies that are specifically specialized in having high attack, high defense, high speed. They're gonna take those buffs that they have the strongest of and then halve it. So it's very nice. I'm glad they're doing something like this instead of a general half stats. And this is for 20 seconds as well, so it's so good. If 5 or more class fighter characters on the team, or 5 or more navy tags, so very similar to the passive, targets shooter class enemies for 80% chance of confusion for 10 seconds. So yeah, we know how broken confusion is from the likes of Hancock, Nami, and Robin. Also, the Hibari and Kujaku unit, the sword units, the int one, they released before this. They also provide confusion. They have proved how insane confusion is as well, especially for defense teams. There's such a high chance that it will completely screw over the enemy team, especially at an 80% chance for 10 seconds. There's a good chance at least 2 people or 2 enemies waste their specials thanks to this. And remember, confusion works even if the enemy has special bind, if they have action bind, not action bind. If they have like a death hit, like Marcus Mars, Roger Elegaban, if they have confusion, their final death hit will not activate. Same goes for if a character has special bind. So confusion is one of the most broken mechanics in the game. A character has to have resistance to special bind and also confusion. Or scratch that. If a character has resistance to special bind, they can still get completely screwed over. Oh wait, now I'm getting confused. Yeah, no, scratch that. I don't know what I was talking about. Anyways, doesn't matter. During Assault Rumble, so she's great in Assault Rumble. Targets self for special CT 30% reduction, and if 3 or more sword characters on the crew. Targets all enemies for 3k fixed damage and switches character with the first sub character. So the first character on your bench swaps with the Hibari. This is mad. I just can't believe this. Because remember, when she appears on the field, 30% CT reduction. So you start off the game, she's on your main lineup, 30% reduction. She swaps to the sub, and then someone on your main lineup dies. She comes back in, another 30% delay. That's the main gimmick here. And that is so powerful. And in the way it's worded here, this is not only in Assault Rumble. The only thing that's exclusive to Assault Rumble is the 30% CT reduction for herself, which is, it's not needed for it to be good in regular Rumble. So 3 sword characters, they obviously want you to run the Hibari, what's her name, Kujaku, the Rumble Legend Kujaku, and the new Gob Kobe. You run those 2 alongside her. Those are 3 navy sword tags, and you meet this requirement. This could be game changing. I'm telling you guys, this is really good. And then her super special, after she receives buffs from 3 Rumble specials on the ally team, then she will be able to activate the super Rumble special without level number break 5. X-type fighter class teammates and navy type teammates get attack up of level 8 for 25 seconds. 3 high attack enemies for 100% chance. So the same half stats, but now it's 3 enemies instead of 2. So that's going to affect a lot more characters, of course. And then, where's it now? Targets shooter class enemies for 100% chance. So guaranteed confusion now instead of 80% chance. And then in Assault Rumble, an extra 10% CT reduction. Instead of 30, it's 40 now. And then with the tag requirement for sword, you get a 4k fix instead of 3k. So it's just a very slightly better version of the regular special. The buffs for half stats are 25 seconds instead of 20 seconds. They apply to 3 enemies instead of 2. The attack up is level 8 now. And then she will also give a bit of extra cooldown to herself and also deal a bit more fixed damage. So just an all-around amazing character. What about when you get it to level limit break 5? Targets team for attack up at level 10 for 30 seconds. And then it gives the exact same half stats, but now 30 seconds instead of 25. Okay. 50% CT instead of 40 now. So it's going up 10% every time. And then 5k fixed instead of 4k. So it's going up every time. Now it's another 5 seconds higher. The attack up is another 2 levels up. And also I think it lasts longer. Yeah, also another 5 seconds there. Half stats is the exact same magnitude, same amount of enemies, but now it's 5 seconds longer. Confusion is 5 seconds longer than that now as well. Extra 10% CT and then another 1k fixed. So I don't think you need the level number break 5, and I think that's going to be important. You really don't need it. And yes, the requirement changes from receiving buffs from ally specials from 3 times to only 2 times. So it's going to be much easier to use it. So that's probably the main change. But I really don't think you need it, right? The main thing is that she's getting that delay from her passive. And no matter how level limit break she is, she still has the ability to swap with the first bench character. I think that's the most important thing. So I think this character is going to be game changing. I'm really excited to see how good she's going to be in Rumble. Unfortunately, no GP stats, but that is fine. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this broken characters down below. I will be analyzing the other headliners. But yeah, currently I'm mostly excited for this character. I have glazed slightly over the other characters' abilities. I think they are very heavy on the tag requirements. Just very difficult to use. I think Hibari, even though she does want Navy tag characters, I think she's much easier to use. Let me quickly show you guys. New day. Yeah, I think my game is broken. But yeah, trust me, this was... Okay, never mind, it loaded. But yeah, these are all the Navy tag characters in the game. Of course, we have heavy hitters like... whatchamacallit? Dex Kizaru. Navy Ace. Definitely on the Dex team. This could be a great character to run alongside her. 6+ Kizaru. But I was talking about this Kizaru here. This character is still so good in Rumble. Very low CT character. He does also have Death Hit. We have Pirate Rumble, Rare Recruit. What's her face? Sudo. This character I use a lot. She's also really nice. She could work really well with her. Galaxy Impact Garp. I don't really think so. Strength Kobe is mono strength, so no, she won't. He won't work with Hibari. Of course, you can't use the sword unit alongside this since it is a Hibari character. You could actually use Green Bull because he got massive buffs in Rumble. So yeah, that's a very interesting combination. We can talk about this in another video, but this really could be a perfection team if you run Green Bull alongside Hibari, Kizaru, new Kobe Garp, and Kujaku Legend. Yeah, I'm not sure about the synergy quite yet, but just a few thoughts. It could be really good. I also don't know. This guy's a decent debuffing unit. I haven't personally used him, but he could also see play now with this character. Sentomara as well. Tashiki's not very good in Rumble, but you get the point. There's a lot of potential here. Hibari, I'm impressed. She might be the main headliner, the true headliner of the global ANNI. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know your thoughts, of course. Like and subscribe for the algorithm if you want to see more breakdowns like this in the future. But with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, and I'm out.